The $2 billion Tanjung Priok Port Expansion is a major infrastructure project funded by China and located in Indonesia, which aims to expand the capacity and efficiency of the Tanjung Priok Port, Indonesia's busiest shipping hub. This project is part of China's Belt and Road Initiative, a global development strategy aimed at strengthening economic ties and infrastructure connectivity between China and the rest of the world. Want to know more about the project? Tune in, because in today's video, that's what we are about to talk about. Hello and welcome back to our YouTube channel. Before getting into the video, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future videos. Now without any further delay, let's get straight into it. Tanjung Port, also known as Tanjung Priok Port, is the largest and busiest port in Indonesia and is located in North Jakarta. The port is a key economic hub in Indonesia, handling around 2/3 of the country's international trade. The port is a vital gateway for both imports and exports and has played a significant role in the country's economic growth. Tanjung Port consists of two main sections, the New Priok Container Terminal and the Jakarta International Container Terminal. The New Priok Container Terminal is the newer and larger of the two terminals and is the focus of the current expansion project. The Jakarta International Container Terminal is an older terminal, which has been in operation since the 1980s. The port handles a wide range of goods, including textiles, electronics, machinery, and food products. It is also an important hub for the transportation of raw materials, such as coal, iron ore, and palm oil. In addition, the port serves as a gateway for the transportation of goods to and from other parts of Indonesia, such as Kalimantan, Sulawesi, and Papua. Despite its importance, Tanjung Port has struggled with congestion and delays due to a lack of investment in infrastructure and equipment. The port has faced challenges in keeping pace with the rapid growth of Indonesia's economy, which has led to increased demand for the transport of goods. To address these challenges, the Indonesian government has launched a major expansion project for Tanjung Port with the help of China's Belt and Road Initiative. The $2 billion expansion project aims to increase the port's capacity and efficiency, making it easier and more cost-effective to transport goods. The project involves the construction of new container terminals, the dredging of the port's basin and access channel to accommodate larger vessels, and the installation of new handling equipment and systems. The expansion of Tanjung Port has the potential to bring significant economic benefits to Indonesia, as well as strengthening the country's economic ties with China. The expansion will increase the port's capacity from 8 million TEUs to 18 million TEUs per year, making it one of the largest container terminals in Southeast Asia. This increased capacity will facilitate increased trade and investment, driving economic growth and job creation. The $2 billion expansion of Tanjung Port in Indonesia is being financed by a combination of Chinese loans and Indonesian government funds. The funding for the project has been facilitated by China's Belt and Road Initiative, which aims to promote infrastructure development and economic cooperation across Asia, Europe, and Africa. The majority of the funding for the Tanjung Port expansion is coming from the Export-Import Bank of China, which has provided a loan of $1.5 billion for the project. The remaining $500 million is being provided by the Indonesian government. The Indonesian government's contribution will be used to finance the construction of supporting infrastructure such as roads, bridges, and drainage systems, as well as to cover other costs associated with the project. The terms of the loan from China's Export-Import Bank have not been made public, but it is believed to be a long-term, low-interest loan. The loan is part of China's broader strategy of financing infrastructure projects around the world in order to promote economic development and strengthen economic ties with other countries. The Indonesian government has emphasized the importance of careful management of the project's finances to ensure that the country does not take on an unsustainable debt burden. In addition, there have been some concerns about the potential for corruption and inefficiency in the management of the project, and the need for transparency and accountability in the use of public funds. While the expansion of Tanjung Port in Indonesia is expected to bring significant economic benefits, there are also some concerns about the potential risks and challenges associated with the project. One major concern is the potential for corruption and inefficiency in the management of the project. The Indonesian government has acknowledged the risk of corruption in the infrastructure sector and has emphasized the importance of transparency and accountability in the use of public funds. To address these concerns, the government has established a task force to oversee the implementation of the project and ensure that it is managed effectively and efficiently. Another concern is the potential for environmental damage and disruption to local communities. The expansion of the port will involve extensive dredging and land reclamation, which could have significant impacts on the marine environment and the livelihoods of local fishing communities. To address these concerns, the project is required to undergo a rigorous environmental impact assessment, and the Indonesian government has committed to implementing measures to minimize the environmental and social impacts of the project. There are also concerns about the potential debt burden associated with the project. While the Indonesian government has committed to careful management of the project's finances, there is still a risk that the country could take on an unsustainable debt burden if the project does not generate sufficient economic returns. To address this risk, the government has emphasized the need to ensure that the project is financially viable and that the benefits outweigh the costs. Finally, there are concerns about the potential geopolitical implications of the project. As with other Chinese-funded infrastructure projects, the expansion of Tanjung Port has been seen by some as a means of expanding China's influence in the region and strengthening its strategic position in the Asia-Pacific. This has raised concerns among some observers that the project could contribute to a broader shift in the balance of power in the region, with China emerging as a dominant economic and political force. China and Indonesia have a complex and multifaceted relationship characterized by a mix of economic cooperation, strategic competition, and historical tensions. On the one hand, China and Indonesia have developed close economic ties in recent years, with China emerging as one of Indonesia's largest trading partners and sources of foreign investment. The expansion of Tanjung Port is an example of this economic cooperation, as it is being financed largely with Chinese loans and is expected to facilitate increased trade and investment between the two countries. On the other hand, China and Indonesia have also had some strategic tensions, particularly over China's territorial claims in the South China Sea. Indonesia is not a claimant in the South China Sea disputes, but it has expressed concern over China's assertiveness in the region and has taken steps to strengthen its own military capabilities in response. The expansion of Tanjung Port has the potential to both strengthen and complicate China-Indonesia relations. On the one hand, the project is expected to deepen economic ties between the two countries and contribute to the broader goal of promoting economic integration across the Asia-Pacific region. This could help to build trust and cooperation between China and Indonesia and to mitigate some of the strategic tensions that have emerged in recent years. On the other hand, the expansion of Tanjung Port could also be seen as a means of expanding China's influence in the region and strengthening its strategic position in the South China Sea. This could raise concerns among some in Indonesia and other countries in the region, who worry that China is seeking to establish hegemony in the Asia-Pacific and undermine the regional balance of power. In conclusion, the $2 billion Tanjung Priok Port Expansion is a major infrastructure project funded by China that aims to expand the capacity and efficiency of Indonesia's busiest shipping hub. The project is part of China's broader Belt and Road Initiative and has the potential to bring significant economic benefits to Indonesia, as well as deepening economic ties between China and Indonesia. While there are challenges associated with the project, its successful completion could transform Indonesia's logistics sector and bring significant benefits to the wider region. What do you think about the whole situation? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We would love to hear from you. That's it for today's video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to show us your support and give this video a big thumbs up. We will see you in the next one.